we're starting
YouTube.
YouTube.
I love YouTube.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, there's.
If we hit 2 million likes on this video,
I only carried 4 passengers that night. I swear it.
Well, I for one was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus.
He fitted us the fare, he did, and I saw that blood going inside as well. It's all too much.
I'll tell you, I saw McGilded stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands.
Oh yes, he stabbed it. Yes, he did. I think so. Yes.
Council, make sense of this for me, please.
Phantom fifth passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. Confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little horse nudge.
Beppo, explain yourself.
I'm terribly sorry, Go Master.
I feel like my juror number 5 and Bruce Fairplay voices are like blending together. How do I make them different?
Pinch your
What
nose.
do I sound like?
I feel like Bruce Fairplay has. Oh, sorry, go on.
It's okay, they're just the same person, they're just changing clothes, don't worry.
He's just running between the juror's stand and the witness stand really quickly. Changing his hat, putting on a cloak.
I feel like Bruce Fairplay doesn't have that deep of a voice. It's more like it feels somewhat similar to Preston's like juror voice, but not as but like
Kind of like hoarse, would you say?
yeah, like
Rough. And
I-
Irish. I feel like this guy would have an Irish accent.
not I wouldn't say Irish, but like I'm trying to figure who he best like in the Harry Potter universe who he best resembles.
Harry Potter universe.
Because that's my only only selection of British parts apparently. I guess we can figure it out as we go.
Yeah, just figure.
yes, the
Pinch
magical
nose.
fantasy world of Britain.
I'll just make this guy a bit more cockney, I guess. And maybe less deep. Am I to understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny a fare?
Yeah, of course.
It's so cold, and the last run of the day is always half empty.
You have been dishonest, coachman.
I'm so sorry.
You're a disgrace, Beppo. A disgrace! And your selfish actions have brought dishonor on the entire guild.
If I may, sir. I had to pay 10. However, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week.
What?
4 passengers at 5p each is, yes, 20 pence. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently. Did Sam
We're
say
gonna
this
do like
one?
one person each line.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Hey,
Okay,
Jasmine.
how should we do this?
Jasmine, do you want to
What?
read this?
I was gonna
Wanna go down the line?
Go down the line.
Fine, I'll go first. No, that figures. So for me, it looks like it's me, Jasmine, Cindy.
I feel like going down the
Josh.
line would be too difficult. We
Okay.
should just have one person do it. Nobody's going to remember when it's their turn.
Yeah.
we're just going down the line, right?
No,
think-
no.
No.
I think we're just gonna leave it to one person. It'll be easier that way.
Jasmine,
I
you
can
ever
do it.
want to be product? Oh, missed.
Wait, but you're Barrock.
Yeah,
You're already Barrock, so
Jasmine,
you've already got a bunch
Jasmine,
of lines.
you can
Me?
take the role from. Yeah.
Preston
Jasmine, go
says
ahead.
he wants to do it.
Wow.
Let's let
Okay.
Preston do it.
Okay.
Preston? Oh,
Yeah,
Preston, go for it.
You only have one role, right?
Yeah, I only have like one minor role.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's juror number 3.
Yeah.
Mr. Stabby.
Stabby, stabby.
Mr. Stab. Stab, stab, stab.
Well, it would appear that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. So, counsel for defense, your cross-examination is in place.
We've already had the pleasure of a protracted submission examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games.
Absolutely. Ooh, they have the backgrounds for the files.
Cuttings!
Hold it! So, there were only 4 passengers on your carriage, but you didn't charge them the standard 4-piece fare. Is that right?
It's impossible to make the last run of the day pay. I was so cold. It was all I could do to stop myself passing out.
I'm getting chillblains just listening to you.
What? It was terrible. I wanted to give myself a pat on the back for even keeping the bus running. Doesn't to get encouragement deserve an extra penny per passenger?
Spit it out, Beppo.
You're digging a deeper hole for yourself here. If only there had been a 5th passenger on the omnibus that night, then we would have had another suspect.
What's Armando doing here?
Do I sound like Orlando? Hold it! Hold it! Does that mean everyone on board that night paid 5 pence instead of 4?
I paid 5 pence too, sir.
And I just told you that I did.
Flat fare of oh god, that didn't work out. I was trying to do this pose, but then it got lighter. Flat fare of the 5 pence across the board.
It's not something to be proud of.
The so-called discrepancy my learned friend identified was nothing of the sort. Much like the fattened killer you so desperately needed, it's gone. Dead and buried.
I have been happy that it ever existed in the first place. Hold it! Hold it! This blood-curdling sight. You mean the murder, I presume?
Yes, sir.
A loathsome sight. No one should have to witness the horror in the eyes of a man the moment his life is taken.
Oh, well, not exactly, sir. I mean, I didn't actually see the exact moment that the gent was stabbed.
Good gracious! Really?
We have another witness who did, however. The beggar has already testified to this. To it.
But Mr. First didn't actually see the point at which the victim was killed. That may turn out to be very significant.
The banker gent next to me went to take a sharp intake of breath, see? That's when I looked through the glass. That's when I saw that horrible blade poking out from his belly, all covered in blood. Every time I see a knife now, I can't help screaming, even when I'm eating.
Hold it! Hold it! So you saw the defendant, Mr. McGilton, stabbing the victim, Mr. Mason, who was sitting next to him.
That's what I said, isn't it?
was bothering me before, this was. But just a brief moment. You hesitated before answering the question.
Anyway, there's only the two of them inside the carriage, wasn't there?
There's been much talk of a fifth passenger, but as yet, zero evidence.
And what are we wasting all this time for, eh? It's black and white. A man's guilty.
Think about Mr. Fairplay's testimony just jars with me. I wish I could work out what it was. Wait, what are we doing for red text again? I'm confused.
Cockney.
Oh, Cockney? Okay. Got it. Got it.
If you're already kind of cockney.
Oh,
Scottish.
Cockneyer.
Not Scottish would still be kind of similar.
This trial very nearly came to an end. Somehow we've managed to keep our chances alive here. I can't waste this cross-examination. I have to use it to bring some new facts to light.
If you're not careful when you press these witnesses, the danger is that the jury will end up believing something unhelpful as they did before.
Maybe. We can't let the fear of that happening stop us from uncovering important new information.
Yes, you're right.
I need to pay careful attention here. I don't want to miss even a flicker of a reaction among these witnesses.
Remember, if you happen to spot one of the witnesses reacting in such a strange way, don't hesitate to pursue them as to the reason.
I'd say if you're already speaking Cockney, then do like super refined Queen's English.
That is true.
I don't listen to them.
On it! Earlier, you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you?
Oh, yes, that's right.
You said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding the knife in an ice pick grip.
I suppose I might have, yes. Put the cart before the horse. Maybe.
What's this?
Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats in the roof deck.
Oh, I suspect that was me, sir.
Then when I turned around, yes, I saw through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor, and the knife was sticking up out of his midriff. That's right, yes. And the fellow holding the handle was the famous hand. Yes.
So in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all.
I really thought that I did, but when I could go over it again in my head, no, I suppose I didn't actually see the precise.
What?
Did I just say truth?
I think you did.
Truth.
Truth!
What?
I didn't actually see the precise moment of the stabbing, did I? I should probably move over to you.
Truth.
Excuse me.
Cockney exclamation of surprise.
Excuse me. Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay?
Short for God's truth.
Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. He didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Eh?
Are you asking me or telling me? He's getting flustered. I might be able to extract some new information from him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed?
No, some days are just like
It just be like that sometimes. Oh. Well, I suppose some days are like that. Sooner or later, you'll see something you wish you hadn't. If you're always peeping through a skylight on top of the omnibus.
Beeping? I'm a respectable city banker, I'll have you know. And I know what I saw. I remember it clear as Ballarat Day. It was a grim scene, I don't mind telling you.
Thank you, Mr. Fairplay.
Oh, excuse me if I was getting a little hot under a collar there, my lord.
I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw.
Oh, I can do that, alright. I'll tell you just how grim it was. Do you think I'd... Wait, is that you? Yeah, it's you. Do you think I'd forget the sight of those blood-soaked hands after that butcher stabbed the man?
Hold it! Blood-soaked.
Well, perhaps soaks is laying it on a little thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it.
And you saw that from the roof, through the skylight.
Well, the skylight's reasonably large, so I had a pretty good view. And there was a lamp on the inside of the carriage as well. So I'm quite sure of what I saw.
This banker's latest statement. I feel sure there's something not quite right about it.
When you feel something doesn't add up, Mr. Naruhodo, that's when you should have a good look through the court record.
No.
Yeah.
Shut up, Susato. You don't pay my sub.
Also, let's quickly take a look at this.
The portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets of London's gentry.
Oh dear, do you really think we ought to look inside?
Well, it's not as though we know London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Actually, I wonder.
I assure you, we will not find Mr. Trom's name inside.
Well, let's see what we find.
Gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it?
Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off.
Ah, goodness!
What is it?
Look at this! Do you see the name here?
Bruce Fairplay. Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually.
Bruh! That's the name of the witness right in front of you?
Oh, dude.
Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment.
To be fair, I think it's like a little bit right before, you get this like a little bit before the cross-examination part.
Oh yes, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? He bought 20 guineas, did he? And look, the repayment date is fast approaching. Fast approaching.
It's impossible that this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very useful information.
Oh, whoops. That's weird. How would he have hands that have blood on them?
Objection!
Objection! Blood-soaked hands.
Well, I admit that Soaks might be laying it on a little thick, but... Didn't we do this? But anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it.
Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than just a little peculiar.
Was an Aka.
Oh, shit. I never realized.
What? You having a giggle?
Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night in question.
No. Yes. Right.
And there suddenly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there. But, as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right hand glove.
Oh.
In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent.
But, no! Can't be right.
Oh, Jasmine!
No.
Did you forget to ping Jasmine?
Did you just cover it?
I guess
Yeah,
so.
just cover it for now.
Somebody.
So you're the liar here then? Old.
That's right. You were quite clear about it. You said, yeah, it was both hands. Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
Objection! It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't both hands, it was only one. But the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused.
Objection! No! Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands, which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court.
Why? I'm a city banker for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate.
He's claiming to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case?
Mr. Naruhodo, if we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could turn the tide in this trial completely.
Something to show this man has a compelling reason to lie in his testimony.
Wow, it's almost like I decided to look at that just before this.
My lord!
Yes, counsel.
The defense is ready to present evidence.
By Jove! Are you sure?
Yes, evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had reason to lie in his testimony.
Very well. I hereby call on the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged descendant. Take that!
Take that! This is a list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilded.
Yes, a list of innocent victims crippled by the accused extortion.
The point is, among the names of these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay.
What?
To pay.
Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted financially to the accused?
No. Well, that's barely worthy of being called a debt.
According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas, not an inconsiderable sum of money, would you say?
Well, what of it?
Let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of murder. What will become of your debt in that case?
These documents say that that the loan agreement is forged between the two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to a capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be
Annulled.
they would
Cease to exist.
Cease to exist.
Mr. Fairplay, is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never in fact saw, in a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant?
Oh, did Discord eat it?
Yeah.
Then
Gotta use push to top
Let
right.
me turn noise suppression off then. Him.
Is that you,
It helps a
Kakuto?
little.
order, order, order. Mr. Bruce Fairplay.
Yes, my lord.
Ignorant.
Oops. Let me ask you again.
Yeah, what was the line before?
Let me ask you again, and be aware that your answer may have the most serious implications upon your future, sir. Did you, or did you not, see the precise moment in time at which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim?
Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony.
Right. Now let's not make a little melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch,
A pinch?
but it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on McGilda's hands. Both of them.
Objection! And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained.
Grr, so you keep saying.
I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. First.
Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself, as it happens.
Seeing what?
The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think, yes. I'm almost sure that it was on both of his hands, not just one.
What? What?
Bang.
It would appear that you're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time, I would like to know precisely what you did and what you did not say. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
Mr. Naruto. This is good news. The course of the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last.
Yes. I might finally have a chance to turn things around here.
There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired, if that matters.
I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them.
I didn't actually see anything myself. No, not until I heard that scream.
Anyway, the fact remains. There can't have been anyone else inside that carriage, or we all would have seen.
Lo and behold, in truth of fact, not one of you was witness to the crucial moment the crime was perpetrated.
I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside that coach, and the man's hands were covered in blood. Grr, that much incriminating evidence is tantamount to saying we all saw the man do it.
That's really not what testimony is about.
Let's examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seats, corroborating with the witness's take.
You don't
You
want
want to try that again, sir?
Yes, can I see the script once more? The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seats, corroborating the witness's accounts. Corroborating the witness's accounts. 5 times the charm. In other words, there is no substantial nor significant change in the facts of the case.
Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel.
Yes, my lord. Never trust a man with a W on his face.
Mr. Fairplay didn't see Mr. Mason being stabbed at all. That's a hugely significant change in the facts of the case.
And there's something else that occurred to me whilst listening to the witness's latest testimony. 2 of them are recounting what they saw through the skylight in the omnibus roof.
I know it's a large window and certainly affords a good view of the inside, but... well, I think perhaps we ought to confirm what they're saying with our own eyes as much as possible.
What do you mean?
I mean that we can examine the evidence firsthand. The omnibus is here in the classroom after all.
That's a good idea. But we can't consider witnesses' statements while we're looking around. The seat has a handle, it seems.
Oh.
I can't find anything else in place. This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running.
Feeding tubs, tools of repair wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. So, it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems.
There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to stow their luggage.
Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway.
Hold it! And everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus.
That's right. It was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over.
Yes, I remember I was shivering. It was so bitter.
Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting on the roof deck in the first place.
Well, I don't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't get in the cabin.
Oh? Why not?
It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door.
It was locked.
That's right. And it's a public bus service, for pity's sake. That's not what I call fair play.
Yes, I had exactly the same experience.
Oh,
I guess he just woke up.
on his way. We woke him up.
Buenos dias, Sam.
Buenos dias, Mandy.
Oh no.
Alright, we keep going. I tried knocking, but the guards inside just gestured at me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb up to the roof deck and look down longingly into the warm cabin below.
Oh, I can assure you I wasn't just looking down. I was glaring, long and hard, like my cane. And that's precisely what I can tell you with absolute confidence. That if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed.
Equivocal, I would say.
I'm not sure about these two witnesses. Could they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the skylight? Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding this omnibus and witnessed the events in that cabin through the skylight in the floor of the upper deck. Is that right?
That's right, yes.
In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you.
What?
My golly, really?
Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied that at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection! Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nipponese friend. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here, in the flesh.
Very well. I will uphold the prosecution's demand. You will
Identify.
the earlier discussed sessional plan of the omnibus. Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting that this potential extra passenger could have been situated?
Take that! Take that! Both rows of seats on the roof face in the direction of travel, whereas the seats in the enclosed cabin face each other, which means a visible part of the cabin, which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as I've drawn here. That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite, the one on which the victim and his attacker was sitting, is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it.
Objection!
Objection! It's quite possible. Some phantom was sitting there. You Nipponese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity.
I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In a British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, Counsel. That is, unless you're able to
Put a name.
to this mysterious passenger to whom you're
Can you, Mr. Naruhodo?
I honestly don't know. Who could it have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which was out of sight from witnesses on the roof deck?
I have no name.
I have an inkling.
Woomy.
I understand, my lord. The defense would like to put forward a name. Where did you get that chalice?
You are a fool. It is one of my specialties.
I see.
That response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. A toast to hard lessons not yet learned.
Let us not delay, Council. The defense is still to name the passenger the other scene.
It could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting to turn the trial in my favor. Hello, Sam.
There he is.
That noise, he'd have fucking handprints on his
By
face.
yours.
Wait, are you watching the stream, Sam?
It's still loading.
Oh. I'll just keep going to it. Just let me know when it's loaded. On the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin that was obscured from view was... It was my assistant.
Take that!
You can't spell Sato without sus. Take that! The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus McGilded.
It's loaded.
Okay.
Mr. McGilded?
What are you talking about, Council? That's the name of
The defendant.
Objection!
Objection! Have at
Why'd
you.
you ruin it?
Enough talk. Have at you. If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hollow chalice, do forgive the discourtesy.
How many chalices do you have?
Lord sakes!
I have chalices for days. People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own. But I see they use the terms ill-advisedly.
What are you trying to say?
Let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwater such as yourself might understand. In the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to the fact. It's the very premise on which the case is built.
Objection! Objection! But that premise may be wrong.
What?
If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way.
What inconsistency, Council?
The defendant's gloves, my lord. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claimed that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection! Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains.
Objection! The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance.
Yes, the testimony remains unchanged.
Exactly. They both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth.
He's in character.
Just put out an AK-47 or something.
It was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night. A third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on that passenger's hands, both of them.
Objection!
Objection! And who was this third party?
Obviously, the true culprit.
Extraordinary! Order! Order! What exactly are you postulating?
Objection! Objection! The defense's postulation is just that. Nothing more than conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused.
Objection! But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said two of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces.
Yes. The tops of their heads were obscured by a roof. I could see the rest of them, though.
Yes, that's right. Those gentlemen were certainly hatted. Hatters do tend to notice such things, sir.
And what particular styles of hat did the two gentlemen sport, Mr. Ferris?
I'm afraid I don't remember.
And you call yourself a hat man?
He's mad.
The style of hat makes no difference. There was no third passenger in that cabin.
How can you be sure?
Because if there had been, the accused Mr. McGilder would undoubtedly have offered to depose the fact. Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation. That the accused failed even to notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled.
Ah! He's right. If there was another person traveling in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. McGillen would have been unaware of it.
Inconceivable.
Order! There is clearly a simple solution to this problem.
Bring the accused Mr. McGilder to the stand.
Well, what say you, counsel?
The prosecution objects, my lord.
On what grounds?
As a suspect, he will have already made a full statement to the police.
But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely?
Magnus McGilder is no uneducated ruffian. If it indeed turns out that the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act.
Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion?
My lord, should we ask Mr. McGilder to testify or not? Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilder to the stand.
That's my favorite animation from this game.
In that case, I'd like to hear the opinion of the jury.
Ah, yes. I need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilder has to say.
I'm trying to get my knife belt. Get the man out here, I say.
Jasmine.
Me?
Other Jasmine ain't here.
Oh, that's true. It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony.
When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild.
Hearing what the patron of my favorite little park has to say? Yes, that would be lovely. I'm old.
Yes, the jury says the man must be heard.
Very well. The court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, Show the defendant to the stand at once.
Sir, I'm getting bribed.
Is that you, Beppo?
Oh yeah, no, sir. It's me, the baby.
God, I just spit all over my monitor. Crap.
Oh, whoopsie! I think I just skipped over.
You did.
Beppo is very satisfying. Say.
Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear.
Beppo.
Peppo.
Peppo.
Boo.
Peppo.
Proceedings be resumed.
Summary: we went over their testimony. Bruce Fairplay is in debt to the Irishman. He
Willy
lied.
Wonka.
Yeah, Willy Wonka. He lied. Bruce Fairplay. None of them actually saw the actual stabbing. And now they're talking to McGilder because there might be a fifth person.
Intriguing. Do go on.
Mr. McGilder, have you been listening to the discourse in the there?
Oh, to be sure I have, my lord.
There are no two matters on which you could decide, but here are some now. The first is whether or not there was
A third party.
just you in the omnibus cabin and supposed by the fact. The second, that is such a person was in the prison, quite a true,
Concealed.
that's fact from the parent.
I just imagine the judge's desk is just covered in spit from all this like
Ew.
sputtering he's doing.
Oh, gross. I don't know.
That shouldn't be a problem. Yes,
He just has like a bowl for the first.
His beard as the mop is.
yeah.
he just like shakes his head on the desk.
His beard was actually long and straight. It just looks like that because of so much spit over the years.
Or it's a fake beard, and like you can take it off and you can attach it to a mop.
Just like his wig, just like his wig on the head.
Oh, begad no! 'Tis not in my nature to hide anything at all.
Just answer the questions, please.
The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. Do I tell y'all, or keep my mouth shut?
Tell us what, Mr. Gilded.
So I'm just gonna check the omnibus, get some information.
You know what killed it? Reminds me of not only Willy Wonka, but also Lord Farquaad. Like a love child of Willy Wonka and Farquaad.
Lord Wonka.
Wow, Farquaad is my favorite.
Curse.
Wait, we need that to be made.
It's
Oh,
canon.
yes.
Alright, Tammy, you spoke it into existence, now you need to draw it.
You have the skills to do it.
I'll edit it right now.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
Let us see Lord Farquanka.
I'm just picturing I'm just picturing that scene from Family Guy with like God, and it's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, with the penguin and the elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to like put an extra touch, you could put like Kronk's face on it. Lord Farquanka.
Oh, the fine fellow representing me is absolutely right. In the carriage on the night with myself and the other man, there was another passenger.
It's true.
Aye, and 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened.
You. What?
Oh my god.
No, Magnus Miggled. The convenient excuse can't save you now.
Oh, I'm truly sorry. So I am, Lord Francis. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was being taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you.
Which was?
Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Not in any way involved, you see.
What?
If the police had known the wee one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They'd have hauled her into this here crow's room, just like myself. I was only trying to spare her, Dad.
Trying to imagine the word Farquonka.
Farquonka.
Speaking into
Lord
the mirror.
Farquonka.
Speaking into the mirror.
A mirror on the wall. Can I get some sense at all?
No, but then the mirror also like gets into like gets really groovy too, right? So like I don't know. There's like
You should say, some you may die, but that's a sacrifice worth making his voice.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord.
Isn't like Lord Farquonka.
Cindy. I guess you like
She
that.
couldn't handle the Farquonka.
The power was too much.
She can't handle the Farquonka style.
Wait, what version of Willy Wonka should I be using?
I mean, that.
Pretty much. Oh, Johnny the Cat? Oh yeah, that I can see.
But Jen, Glenn
Gene
Wilder?
Gene Wilder.
Yeah. What about both of them at the same time?
Yeah, fuse the Wonkas first, and then you.
Fusion.
Oh, but you also have Farquaad, but as a ghost, right? So
He's a ghost?
yeah.
Yeah, in Shrek 4D/3D. Yeah.
Yeah, I
it was
saw,
Ghost.
Oh.
I saw that when it came out, like when it was like 2002, I think. Yeah. What a time.
Or Quad Ghost.
And who is this young child from your spirit?
That I don't know.
You don't know?
Aye, well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night. I never saw it before or since.
Objection!
Objection! We have absolutely no reason to believe this man.
Can we get an emote of Farquaad?
Yeah, after you're done, you should like do a small version.
Sorry.
Prosecution calls for the witnesses' statements to be disregarded by the court.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings.
What?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Smoke bomb!
Smoke!
Fire! It's the fire!
Fire!
We believe I'm on fire.
What's going on?
Oh, she's gonna be she's, oh!
She's back! Yes, in
Farquaad
time!
compels you.
Cindy, it's you, if you can see the stream.
Yeah, maybe if he comes back.
I still see the boxes.
Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face.
Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face. Wait, what's happening?
Oh yeah.
There's a smoke bomb.
Bailiff! Bailiff! Don't let the accused escape! Secure the omnibus!
But I want money!
I do not care, you do as I command!
How can I call an emergency recess? Bailiff, ensure the defendants are in custody, and clear the courtroom.
I'm not getting paid enough for this.
You don't get paid at all.
We pay you in your life.
Oh God.
And pay with
Yeah,
your
you
blood.
intern.
Help me.
You unpaid intern.
I hate coffee.
We were hurriedly,
Sorry.
we were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff.
No, I'm not.
Amid scenes of chaos, as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended.
Uh-oh. Spaghetti.
To be continued.
Be continued.